So, hey everybody, we're here, the Heavy Energy Podcast with Simmo and Cole, and we've got Hutch, the frontman and lead singer of Frankenbok. So, thank you very much for joining us tonight, Hutch. And the first thing I want to get into, man, the big talk is you guys are sitting at a nice number 5 at the moment on the top 10 album Aria charts.
A surprise to me for sure. Can't believe it. It's the Australian chart, so it's but it's still pretty awesome. It's the first charting Frankenbok release that we know of, so yeah, it's pretty cool.
So weird, like it's not when Simmo said the other day about it, I was like, that's not a Frankenbok thing. It's not the Aria charts aren't metal enough for these guys.
We're selling out, so yeah.
What I feel like it is the sense of community, you know.
The Australian public's finally got some brains. Sorry, guys.
I think it all works differently now, so it's all based on streams and stuff, and it's going pretty good. Like, people are checking it out, which is awesome, and so far the feedback's been really positive. So we're really proud of this album, this record, and I think it's the truest sounding album to Frankenbok to some extent, and it's definitely my favorite one that I've done with the guys since being back as well. And even going back listening to Greetings and Loopholes, just production wise, I think it just smashes them out of the park. So I finally made the Frankenbok record that I've always wanted to make with these guys. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's sort of how I was going to put it. You have made something that you obviously can tell this is the one where you have went, yep, that's exactly what we wanted to make, and here it is, guys. So you have served it up on the silver platter to the world, and man, everyone's digging it. I know I am. One of my favorite tracks was Geppetto's Scarecrow, but now Shutter Effect is starting to take over that. So, you know what I mean? Like, there's a bit of a way in when you first listen to an album, but then there's like a second way in after it's sort of grown on you for a while.
Yeah, awesome, man. It's a weird record, like, because we just kind of went in, we just sort of stopped caring. We're just like, we're not comparing to anybody anymore. We just want to do our own thing. I'm certainly of the position that I'm not going to get in there and tell these guys what kind of riffs to write or what kind of music. It's basically, I like the 3 of the guys. They're all awesome people. I respect them all musically. They respect me. So it's basically like, well, cool. If this is the riff you've written, you believe in it. Let's do what we need to do to make it happen as a song. What do you think it needs? And Azza gave me a bunch of ideas for vocals on this one too. So that was really good. Got me started. And I obviously did everything as well. And yeah, it was great. It's been a really interesting process. Like, we really bonded as a band after Irrepressible and stuff. And I think you get what you pay for. So, I became a fan of the band again when Azra and I rekindled our friendship. But hearing the Overdose record, I really love that. That's my personal Frankenbok release, and I'm not on it. But it's I just really love the production. I love what Luke does, and he's a really great guy to work with. And the whole thing was just so easy. It was so much fun, and it was just, there was no stress at all, not for me anyway. But
that's awesome. That's the best kind.
That's so good. It's like, and it's like now we have this like new era of Frankenbok. It's like Frankenbok in the nowadays, like compared to like back in '97. Still heavy, but still like that new production style. And like, when you guys started again, like, was it easy to get back in? Was the chemistry just there, or did it take a bit to get the magic back? How was it?
Well, it was kind of pretty easy, to be honest. It's almost like I don't know, you have an ex-girlfriend, for example, and then you don't see her for a few years, and you catch up with her, and it's like, oh wow, you realize what you maybe lost or missed. And it's Frankenbok, but it's not. It's still Aaron who is the core member. He started it back in the day, and musicians have come and gone, but there's a really great rhythm section in the sense of Tommy and Owen. And between the 3 of them, the guys can write all types of music. Like, it's not just stuck to metal. Like, there's, we are a metal band, I guess, but there's a lot of punk influences, alternative stuff. And Owen's, brings his whole funk sort of thing to it as well now. And Yeah, just at the end of the day, we just it's the kind of band I've always wanted to be in now. It's a lot more versatile. Everyone's colorful. It's not just limited and pigeonholed into the one sort of genre of music. Like we'll do whatever we want now, and
Yep.
yeah, I love that about this band. It's nothing's taboo. You know, you can, you know, every idea gets fostered and nurtured, and yeah, it's great. It's a really great, supportive, encouraging, creative environment, Frankenbok now. Like it's just it's so great. Yeah, you
Yeah,
couldn't
it's a
ask for more.
family vibe, man.
Yeah, the guys are lovely, man, and they're so supportive of what I do and encouraging, like we all are to each other. And
I got that
yeah,
vibe that night I did sound for years. I was like, this is the easiest band I've ever had to work sound with because
mm,
yous work so well together. Yous knew exactly what yous wanted, and I didn't have to second guess anything really.
gates and compression.
That is the line. Gates and compression, Hutch. Gates and compression. That is the key to mixing Frankenbok and metal live.
Well, next year the band's been around for 30 years, and
Yeah, I
the
was going
band's
to
been
get
doing
into that.
all kinds of stuff. And I think at this stage in our career, we're quite grateful for anyone who cares, like, and still turns up, still buys the records, follows us on our socials and whatnot. So we're a very grateful band. It's never gone to our heads or anything. You know, I mean, we're not Parkway Drive or anything.
That's
We're
it.
just a bunch of guys that like getting together and making music. So, and we'll continue to do that until we can't. So, yeah, I think everyone's really happy. I don't foresee anyone leaving, but you never know. And I try not to take this for granted. It's
Yeah.
been great. Yeah, you know.
No, awesome. Awesome. Well, that one gets me back more into Arabia War Honkle. What I want to get into is the front cover art of the album is very striking. And
Yep.
what are some of the concepts and the themes of the album? Because it's a very striking title as well.
Yeah, cool. The cover is basically Aaron lives in a suburb in Melbourne, Victoria called Melton, and there's a lot of carjackings that go on there, and you know cars get stolen and they get torched. And before I'd even rejoined the band, I think I went up to because I was hanging out with Aaron a lot. We became really good friends before rejoining the band. And there was we woke up at something ridiculous in the morning because we noticed something going on outside, and a car had been stolen and torched. So Azza actually went out and took photos of that, and then when we were deciding on what the cover was going to be, we are going through a whole bunch of photos because there's a few different themes in the album, and I think we're kind of almost going to go for a beach theme. But then we came across this picture and like, nah, this has got to be the cover. It's so awesome. Like it's just one of
Yeah.
those things, and it's not photoshopped or anything. It's just the
Mm.
photo as it is, taken on an iPhone. It wasn't touched up or anything. It's not AI.
Oh,
It is
wow.
what
Yeah.
actually
So
happened.
not
Yeah.
even photoshopped or color graded or anything. Not just the
No,
raw photo from
just
the
what
file.
Azza took on his phone, and then we
Yeah.
sort of letterboxed it because with the cover, I kind of had the idea of doing something similar to like Midnight Oil crossed with the
Oh,
Dillinger
yeah.
Escape Plan. I like that widescreen kind of look,
Yeah.
just something really simple and striking. I think the image it speaks for itself. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's great that we own it. We didn't have to pay anyone to design it, so it was great. Yeah,
That's completely awesome, dude.
Yeah.
And
Love it.
but
I mean,
also, yeah, keep going.
oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Where he lives, he's always going around taking photos of stuff. And I don't know if you've seen the record, but on the back there's another abandoned car that's been burnt out and left near like a lake or a river, sort of dried out river. So there's just Melton's an interesting area where especially where Azza lives, it's quite secluded.
Yep.
It's almost like they're building like lots of estates now, but he's on this massive property, and you go for these walks through, sort of bush, and comes at this big train bridge and this kind of river, and it's this really, really interesting kind of scenery to look at. And
Yeah.
yeah, so
Awesome.
some of it came from that, and yeah.
That is cool.
I love
But
that. I love how you're incorporating exact, like, yeah, everyday life and things that yous have seen. And, it's one thing to come up with like a really cool metal demon or something like that, like what
Mm.
yous did with um, Tantrum. But, yeah, like when you've got that striking car on the front, I even seen a comment actually just in the comments, and someone said, "Oh, it's Frankenload or Franken Reload," and it does. It gives off that same vibes as Reload back in the day too. You know, like the flame effect. So yeah.
I never thought of it like that, but yeah, fair,
Yeah, it was
fair.
just someone in the comments. They said Franken Reload, and I was like, "Oh yeah, yeah, it's got a reload vibe to it." Yeah,
Yeah, it's a reload of sorts, I guess. Yeah.
yeah,
Leads me on to my next question for you. So tracks like FAFO feel very relevant to like modern life. So what themes, or I should say frustrations, like inspired the lyrics for this throughout this album?
Well, originally I wanted to call the song Digital Cupids, but we changed it to FAFO, so fuck around, find out. Um,
Yep.
it's based on, I guess, my experience of internet dating. There was a time when, I'd broken up with a partner, and after the healing process, it was time to get back out there. And, I was pretty shy when it comes to walking up to girls and stuff. So I gave things like Tinder and Hinge and Bumble a shot. And I guess it's just my experience of the dating culture, how, people have become so disposable. You can kind of match up with people, and, some people are hooking up and just having one night stands and all that. You meet a lot of people on there that are going through divorces and custody battles and stuff. And I'll only speak from my point of view.
yeah,
I know a lot of people play games on there, and they juggle people, but yeah, people have become so disposable because of these apps, and it's all well and good to get on there and rack up, fuck points or whatever, and fuck a whole bunch of people and stuff. But it really hits home when you meet somebody that's contracted an STD like herpes or whatever.
Definitely.
Uh, and part of that's kind of like, well, kind of shocking to me, because it's not really fair. Like, people are allowed to be promiscuous and explore and have fun, but some people aren't very honest about what they have or where they've been and all that. So it was kind of interesting meeting people like that. And I didn't, partake in anything sexual with these people, but it was sort of interesting to sort of hear
yeah.
about
No,
that.
it's
And
a
really,
really
really,
interesting take, Hutch. I feel ya.
yeah. And one of the people I spoke to, like, they kind of owned it. They owned having this STD and stuff, and they had a lot of fun, and they don't know how they caught it or who from. But one thing that resonated with me was something she said, was that the journey was worth the disease, and that's a lyric I used in there, because she had so much fun and was so promiscuous and was kind of empowered or whatever, I guess, in her sexuality, that she kind of didn't care. Like, shit happens kind of thing. And yeah, I don't really know what to say. It's sort of, I don't want to. The song's a bit tongue in cheek, but also don't want to trivialize what people have gone through and
No,
be
that's it.
disrespectful. Like, it's fucked, and it's really not fair. Like,
Mm.
people get cancer, people get diseases, and it's fucking horrible. Like, it just, and it's really sad. Like, some of these people are really, really lovely, but yeah, you got to be careful. You don't know who you're going home with, and you've
Yeah,
always got to
and
fucking use
honestly,
protection. And yeah.
it feels like they've sort of gamified that industry these days. It's like, if they set you up with the perfect partner instantly and you stayed with that person forever, well, you don't need to use their app anymore. So
Mm.
they gamify that too. They want to keep people there, and in these loops. So no, I feel you, and I really get what you mean there, Hutch. That's cool. And I think that's what Kyle was getting at, a modern take, because only in this time and age um, is that like something that we would sing about in a metal band and people go, yeah, I get that. Yeah. So,
Yeah, look, I mean, I just I sing about things that are relevant to me. I'm not here to
yeah,
change the world. I'm not very political. I find humor in things.
yeah,
Sometimes there's not necessarily even a train of thought behind my lyrics. It's just certain words sound good together.
yeah,
I like it, like painting an imagery of sorts and whatnot, leaving the lyrics open to interpretation. I mean, things with dating apps and stuff, like, I think it's just a shame. Like, it's like anything people create, it always gets fucking mistreated or misused, and people fuck it up, like, because with internet dating, it's great in the sense of, like, you will come across people you wouldn't normally in your normal travels and whatnot. And it is all about how you present yourself with photos and what you write, and it just resonates with certain people. And I met some really lovely people, and I had a really interesting journey doing that sort of stuff. But to me, nothing compares to two eyes locking across a room and just meeting someone walking your natural path in life. And that's how I sort of met my partner.
Yep.
She came and saw Frankenbok play and was just really interesting. And I sort of noticed her out of the corner of my eye, but I was kind of shut off to the fact of wanting to be with somebody because I sort of was just focusing on the band and I didn't want the bullshit of relationships and stuff. But yeah, like sometimes, you just got to be true to yourself and walk your true path. And,
Yeah.
who knows who will pop up. I've met so many great people doing music in my life. I couldn't imagine changing anything because my life would not be what it is if I had not done music. And I'm not even at that level where super famous or doing anything amazing. But like I said, it's just being
But you've
creative
also
and
got a great friend community from Frankenbok. Like you meet so many,
yeah.
like you said, so many great people. And honestly, man, I've been watching you guys since I was a teenager, seeing you guys open for Slayer at the Horden Pavilion. So
Mm.
that's a long journey for me too. Like being the kid in the crowd watching Frankenbok to now talking to you on a podcast, Hutch, like so it's cool, all of these different things we do. Even I feel like me and Kyle, if we didn't do what we're doing right now, we wouldn't be experiencing all these great things like conversations with you. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's about being open to all of that stuff and then just having the journey. Yeah.
Well, yeah, just being an architect of your own destiny too. I mean, the thing is, the scene needs people like you, people that are giving a fuck, taking the initiative, and interviewing these bands, getting it out there. It's, for wasn't for people like you, like people probably wouldn't know who our band was, and we really appreciate that. Yeah, like I said, we just anyone that cares about the band, that turns up to gigs or has a kind word to say or has checked anything out. We are so grateful for that. Like we really are, and that's why we did that birthday party and stuff.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just.
Yeah, that's it. No,
People
I
really
fully
care.
feel you, man.
Yeah.
That's the thing too. Frankenbok will even sometimes do a private party because you guys have so many different friends and different people that you know across the countryside that sometimes those calls come into you guys. So yeah,
Yeah. Well, Aaron, he's been there from day dot to now, and he's been through so much with this band. And
yeah,
when we kindled our friendships and just sort of catching up out of morbid curiosity, like, oh well, what sort of happened after I left, and talking about Adam B. Metal and Dan McDougall and all the other guitarists and drummers that came and went. It's really interesting. There's a really rich story or legacy of the
yeah,
band,
man.
whether anyone gives a fuck or not. It'd be great to write a book or do a documentary on it
Yeah,
because there's so much that's happened. There's a brief sort of photography book that captures a line of when it was sort of Tim, Mick, Dan McDougall, Yeti, and Azza as the band, and yeah, there was some limited edition versions of that, and I got to have a look through that and see all that, and it was really interesting having Azza explain that to me, like what this photo meant, what was happening here and there, and
yeah,
yeah, they're very, very interesting because, yeah, like I said, we fell out and I didn't speak to the guys for years. If anything, they're almost enemies to me. And you get to this point where you don't care anymore. You make peace within yourself and you move on. But it was such a weight lifted off my shoulders when Azza walked up to me in the bar and just goes, "Look, man, your artwork's awesome," and just wanted to bury the hatchet. And yeah, we had this chat. He re-added me on Facebook, and then the first time we chatted, we had like a 3-4 hour chat on the phone, and it was like no time had passed, and we just sort of
yeah,
buried the hatchet. And I apologized for what I felt like I did, and there's you know I don't know how many years it was. It's like 15 or nearly 20 years or something. It's a lot of time to
yeah,
reflect, give, and grow. And at the end of the day, we're just kids, and we didn't know how to communicate.
yeah,
I had some stresses going on and I wasn't really happy. And, it probably all could have been sorted out with a conversation. But back then I was a bit more volatile
yeah,
to some extent I still can be, man. Like if shit gets to me, I just, you can explode and,
yeah,
but we talk, we sort things out. At the end of the day, there's nothing that can't be resolved if you just communicate, be respectful to each other, use your manners, and that's what we do now. Is the band is a very respectful environment, and
yeah.
we are really good friends. And yeah,
No, I get that vibe even hanging out with you guys and even back in the day, some of the times like the bunker parties and stuff like that. That was where I got to know Azza and that more personally, and that's sort of where I've sort of popped up in the family of the band and knowing you guys and all of that stuff. But Yeah, anyway, I'm sort of ranting right now. I'm going to break it up for 2 secs and see if we can get you to do the quick heavy energy shout out before I pass the next question on to Kyle Hutch. All you got to
Sure.
do is just say your name, your band, and that you're watching Heavy Energy with Simmo and Kyle.
I am Hutch from Frankenbok. I am watching Heavy Energy with Kyle and Simmo. Yes, you must tune in.
I love
Awesome. That's sick, man. Yes,
I
I
love that.
love it, Hutch. Rock and roll. We got the Star Wars treatment.
I was just
Hell
gonna
yeah, dude. It's
Wars.
always got to be an awesome, weird, extra cool shout out when it comes to Hutch. Thanks, Hutch.
That I was just about to say before Simo just said Star Wars. I was going to say that had a very Star Wars Yoda-ish type feel to
Oh,
that.
hell yeah. Yeah,
Then
that
Yeah,
was
yeah.
the Yoda treatment.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm
No,
a massive Star Wars fan.
definitely. How does a Frankenbok song
Yeah.
like normally come together these days? Like, does
Um,
someone like bring in a like completed song, or someone brings in a riff, or do you just get in and jam and build it out?
Um, for a lot of this one, I mean, Geppetto Scarecrow was written by Owen, and he had like a recording he gave us, and he just kind of taught the band, just learnt it, and I took it and wrote some lyrics to it. The lyrics are actually recycled from another band that I joined years ago that didn't quite work out, so I've got heaps of lyrics ready to go for stuff. So that was kind of good. A lot of it is just Azza coming in writing riffs too, and in the case of like say Casualty, he actually had some vocal ideas. I think it was sort of he just done a first aid course and he had some lyrics and wrote this kind of song, and then I sort of took some of that and put my own spin on it as well. Days of the Week is just basically I think like a song that Az's grandfather used to sing to him or something, and we sort of turned it into like a metal thing based on the days of the week. I sort of took it as took the theme of like being stuck in a job you hate and just the
Mm,
mundane of life and whatnot. Nelson's Bay again was just another idea that it's actually started out as a minute and a half kind of thrash punk song, and then we sort of expanded upon it because that was actually the first song we all sort of wrote together for this release.
yep.
And I think as a relationship with New South Wales and Nelson Bay, goes there a lot. He loves the ocean and whatnot. We all
It's
do.
a beautiful place. It's an
Yeah.
amazing paradise. It really is.
And
Love
just
it.
basically taking that whole beach town community, like everyone's so friendly and down to earth and whatnot. And I've been to several beach towns myself, and just the people there are lovely. There's always a great bakery or something, and people are so kind and friendly. I live in Melbourne where it's hustle and bustle, and people are friendly to an extent, but nothing like a regional, beach country sort of town or whatnot.
Definitely.
And I just sort of took some lyrics that he had and did my own lyrics, just my affiliation with the beach and whatnot. And for me, it's the water, the sand, the sun, getting a gelati and all that sort of stuff, and seagulls. And one of my favorite things to do is just get some fish and chips and sit on the
Yep.
beach and eat it while you watch the sunset. Like it's just so so healing and calming,
Well,
peaceful. Yeah.
that title jumped out to me straight away because it's a place where my family went for holidays a lot of times when I was growing up,
Mm.
and yeah, straight away I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna. I think it was actually one of the tracks I sort of skipped to. So
Yep.
funnily enough, I just sort of skipped to that, and then after I listened to everything else, but it just jumped out at me. So definitely yeah, I get you on that track, yeah, for sure. But I love that you guys and how that collaborative process works. So, getting into the production of the Arabia War Honkle Hutch, within the studio with that one, I can hear a lot of like that new modern shiny sound. So, how was that in the studio? And you mentioned it was with Frank, is that right?
Luke Walton at
Oh,
Danger
Luke,
Tone
sorry,
Shoot.
Luke, sorry, not Frank, Luke Walters, sorry, yeah. Yeah, so yeah, tell us all about the production on that.
Well, we set ourselves a goal. We had sort of 7, 8 songs written. The eighth song wasn't quite ready, so we just went in. We just endeavored to get through it. So the songs were sort of all done in like 3 to 4 takes. We just wanted to make sure we got the drums done and the bass. So drums and bass were sort of done on the first day. Azza had some sort of guide guitars, and then I think Azza had a day or two of guitars and just layering everything.
Yeah.
I had 2 days of vocals, and then it was just left to Luke to do some vocal editing and whatnot, and he sort of mixed it in his time and sent it to us. And yeah, we just let control of it to him. We went in, did what we did, and we just like, you know what, let's just hand it over to someone who knows what they're doing, and we'll get the best out of it rather than being too precious about everything. And but the thing is with Luke, he's a musician himself. He
Yeah.
empathizes with going into a recording studio, working with dickheads and whatnot. So he tries to create a really good experience for you. You know, he obviously treats you like you're the customer and tries his best to give you what you want.
Yeah.
But yeah, I sort of found like with most of the guys when we were talking to him, it's like, oh, can you just? He's like, yep, already on it. He was fantastic. I would definitely go back and record with him again. And yeah, just he's worked with King Parrot, Psychroptic, Tongue Scum, a whole bunch of
Nice.
bands and whatnot. And he just pulls a great sound. Yeah, he's fantastic and really great to work with. So yeah,
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Awesome. Luke Walters, was it?
Walton.
Luke Walton. Awesome. Shout out to Luke Walton. I'm going to be checking out some more of his work now that you've just mentioned some of those band names. So honestly, I've probably already listened to some of his work without realizing it, honestly.
Well, he's done the latest Psychroptic and he did the latest King Parrot album as well. So
Yeah,
yeah,
wow.
like
Yeah,
those
so I've
productions.
obviously listened to his work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Awesome. No, awesome. Cheers, Hutch. I'll hand this one over to Kyle now.
So this is more about your solo stuff, dude. So your solo album, The Celebration of Cornelius, showed a very different side of your creativity. What inspired you to do like sort of that project, and how different was that in the mindset compared to writing in Frankenbok?
Oh, very different. For one, I'm not really much of a musician, so it originally started off as a bunch of different EPs and songs I'd done by myself. A lot of it was sort of just kind of using that whole Mike Patton cross with Björk, where they both did sort of albums using their voices. So I wanted to sort of create sort of soundscapes using my voice and doing percussive stuff with, yeah, just everything with my voice. And then
Yeah.
some of that incorporated into using samples and drum loops and whatnot. And then I had a whole bunch of songs. I've been working on and off from since like 2011 till, yeah, well, I put it out last year on my birthday. I'd done a bunch of different EPs and stuff, and then I pulled it all down and just took the best of what I liked and made it into this big album. And so it's like a CD with 18 tracks and then a double LP. So yeah, just something I did, and it's on all the streaming platforms. Yeah, it just shows another side of my musical cube. It's just
Yeah.
acknowledging that, you know, I mean, I used lyrics from when I was 14 that I still had from a notebook pad and stuff.
That's really cool, man, and so genuine too. Like, that's you don't get that every day. So
It was just a creative challenge for myself and something to tick off the bucket list. And
yeah,
with the way things are now with technology and everything, you can do like you know
yeah,
yourself, Simo, with your Jackal Crow stuff, you do
yeah.
everything yourself. And it's just me having a go at doing that. It was, yeah, a lot of fun to do and very satisfying. And
It can be
it's
really fun having a go in the studio all by yourself. I
mm,
love that. Just in the, you know,
and it
layering
hasn't
it.
like blown up or anything. It's probably like a bit of a flop, but anyone that's checked it out, it's always given me some kudos. So I'm
Yeah,
proud
no,
of
I
it.
really dig it, man. It's actually sort of just in my like regular circulation playlist now. So some of the songs randomly like R-Type and that just come up now. And
Yeah.
even like I said once, I had it going in the car, and even my daughter's like, Dad, whatever this is, it's very interesting. So that's coming from an 8-year-old girl. So yeah,
Okay, cool.
yeah.
I'd be great if people checked it out and you know, be
Yeah, I'll quickly give that a
uh,
shout out. So everyone check out, if you get a chance, you just look up Adam Glynn on Bandcamp or any streaming service, and Celebration of Cornelius. It'll come up. It's great. It's fantastic. Something
thanks,
that
man.
maybe some of your other fans or other Frankenbok fans don't know of yet. So I hope that helps get it out there a little bit more.
Yeah, look, it's an acquired taste, and it's just, yeah, like I said, there's a whole bunch of stuff I worked on by myself just for some fun, and I thought, oh fuck it, you know, I'll put it out just for myself, even just to hold the
Yeah,
CD
man.
and the vinyl myself, you know, and yeah, like I said, a couple of people checked it out here and there, and the feedback's been positive. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. it's been okay. You know, it's
No,
good fun.
I really dig the way that you're able to the stuff that you do, like I do hear you do in Frankenbok, or I do hear you do in Five Star Prison Cell. It was really cool to go, oh well, this is Hutch all by himself. Really cool. And
Yeah.
do all of your voice stuff. And that'll get me actually into asking about Five Star Prison Cell. So that was sort of something that you did in between those Frankenbok years. And was that actually even there in the Frankenbok days, or was it something that sort of happened later?
No, after I left Frankenbok, I sort of didn't do anything for like a year or two. And my goal originally was to just work with sort of computer musicians and just do recording projects, and sort of had the idea of having my own website and just collaborating with people, and just having stuff for free to download. I was
Yeah,
done with bands, I was done with playing live, and then yeah, I inherited some money when my grandmother died, and then I decided, look, I probably need to start a band up, and so I got these guys from Extra Virgin and the drummer from Tension,
yeah,
and yeah, they sort of said, look, if you write me an album, I'll pay for it, you know, sort of thing, and we decided to call it Five Star Prison Cell, and yeah, it was just after hearing like bands like Dillinger Escape Plan and Sugar and just
yeah,
sort of weirder, crazier, heavier stuff. It's just another side of my musical cube that I wanted to sort of explore, and these guys were musically able to do that. Eventually, we all sort of chipped in and did the whole thing anyway because it was just meant to be a recording project. I didn't want to take these guys away from their band, but we all
yeah,
had
yeah.
such a good time writing and recording together that we started touring and.
Yeah, I
Uh,
actually seen you once decades ago at a place in Wyong called the Chili Lounge.
oh
Um,
wow, okay,
yeah, tiny little venue. Even my old band, A Villain's Embrace, even played that venue a few times. But yeah, I saw you guys, and at the time, I didn't realize I was actually watching you, Hutch.
yeah,
The Because at the time, you were pretty clean shaven in the Frankenbok years, and then you sort of had your beard, and I'm just
yeah.
like, I really didn't realize. And then years later, I'm like, oh yeah. Yeah. Hutch is in Five Star Prison Cell. That's his other thing, and yeah, I really dig it, man. Yeah, it's like you said, like that more extreme, chaotic sort of like Dillinger Escape Plan sort of stuff, and those guys were able to pull it off for you, and it's fantastic music. And you're still doing a little bit of that on the side, still, aren't you?
Well, we put out three albums, which you can it's on the streaming platforms and that. But the band split up back in I think it was 2010 or whatnot. We
Oh,
haven't
okay,
done
yep,
anything for like 16 years. But
okay,
last year with Necrosonic, Kent, who runs the event, reached out to me and asked if Five Star would be interested in playing. I said, oh, I don't really foresee that happening. But I said, I'm back in Frankenbok. I said, would you have Frankenbok on the lineup? So Frankenbok got the gig. But again, he reached out and I said, look, if you cover certain things, I think the guys will be keen. So yeah, so we've been back sort of rehearsing and
yeah, just
getting
rehearsing.
that happening. It's just going to be the one-off show. And then we did a bunch of limited edition merch and whatnot. Yeah, look, I don't know what the future holds for Five Star. The guys are all like our bass player lives in a different state. Our drummer's got his own project and he does lends his drums to a bunch of different things as well. The guitarist is kind of, married with the mortgage and a couple of kids and whatnot. But there was a discussion of maybe being a recording project still or something. So I don't know what the future holds. We'll see what happens at Necrosonic. Frankenbok's the priority, but
Yeah,
I'd be lying if I said I don't love these guys and I love making music with them. But it's
yeah,
just whether that's feasible. There's just not enough time and hours in the day anymore. But I'm definitely open to it. If these guys want to do another album, I would love to do that. So yeah.
that's
Nice.
awesome, man.
That is awesome. So with the Arabia of War Honkle now out for everybody and for the world to hear it, does this feel like the start of like a brand new chapter for Frankenbok?
Yeah,
Oh, absolutely. I feel like since rejoining the band, there was a few sort of little false starts. We put out three different releases, and we were sort of doing the do-it-yourself thing. Whereas I'm glad we kind of went into the studio, and yeah, I think it took a little while to kind of find our feet again and work out how we all work together. But yeah, like I'm really proud of everything I've done with them since being back. The Demon Tantrum single, the Spin Me Around single, which was funny, and then we did the Irrepressible EP, and now the Arriba War Honkle. So, and we're still writing new stuff. So there's
yeah,
still plenty to come. It's just getting it done and all that, you know. So now that this is out, we're sort of having a month or two off to just to kind of let people digest it.
Yeah,
We're
definitely.
heading up to Canberra in August with to play with Aggression for their 30th anniversary show and a bunch of bands, and then yeah, we're going to be announcing some shows soon. So we'll be doing the Barn Assault again, and
Oh yeah.
heading up to Queensland. There's a show in Adelaide coming up. There's a bunch of stuff. We haven't announced everything yet. We're still kind of putting our ducks together. We're trying to get together a really cool set to, you know, obviously incorporate everything in there. It's really hard because we've got so many songs, and then there's ones we sort of want to relearn as we're bringing some of the Overdose stuff back into the fold. There's some stuff from my era the guys are keen to learn, but it's just getting the time to do it. Like, you know, you're playing those songs for nearly 30 years. It gets a bit boring, I think. So yeah, we're really excited with the new stuff we're doing, and hopefully people like it too. I think a lot of the feedback with this new record is that it's very nostalgic of what early Frankenbok was, and that's really great to hear.
Yeah, the whole
Obviously,
Frankenbok is back, baby sort of term, I feel is really
well,
good.
it never left, but it changed. It went through many different, you know, forms, I guess you could
Yeah,
say. It's like
incarnations. Yep.
the incarnations. I've always likened it to seasons of Doctor Who. There's just different members, and they've essentially you can obviously hear Azza throughout it what he does, but there's been all these different players, different singers, and they've explored all these different things. So that's, you know, if someone sits down and goes through the whole catalog of Frankenbok, there's some very different and interesting albums, and some are more metal than others, some are a bit more experimental than others, but there's something there for everybody. But yeah, I don't know. This is just where we're going now. I feel like this is the album we've all kind of wanted to make, and yeah, it's great. We've got the players in this band now that are diverse enough to kind of do what we want. So that's what we're gonna try and do. And there's all these ideas we've got. There's just so much to do in so little time, but we'll get there. But we'll just see how this goes. And I think we want to try and do more recordings now. So
Yep.
it won't be long before we go back, even if we're just putting out singles and stuff, like whether it's
Yep.
properly recorded in a studio or we do it ourselves. It just depends how it all turns out. Like the thing with Demon Tantrum and Spin Me Round, they were homemade jobs. Irrepressible was done with Dan McDougall at Volume Dealer back when he was in the band. Originally, it was meant to be like a EP with him and me doing dual vocals. I was just meant to be the guest
Oh,
vocalist on it.
I
And
never
then
realized that.
because yeah, there's so much so many stories to this band, but yeah, Dan obviously decided he wanted to go on and do Volume Dealer and didn't have the time anymore.
Yep.
And so the rest of the guys were like, okay, well, you go do your thing. And funnily enough, they asked me to come back, which was
Yeah.
cool because I really like the lineup. So yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Well, that's going to sort of lead to one of my last questions before we just get into a few little bonus parts here. Hutch is basically going on 30 years, man. And now you're spanning music like Frankenbok, Five Star Prison Cell, your own solo releases, and plus you've had some other bands in between all of that as well. So how does it feel approaching that 30 years of making music continuously and having all of these different sort of catalogs and different projects all over the years?
Oh, look, it's a lot of fun. I think, you know, there's a saying, life is all about who you meet and what you create with them.
Yep.
So that's that. I can't really speak to the 30 years of Frankenbok because, excuse me, I wasn't there for the full 30 years. I think Azza
No,
would be
that's
the
right.
best person to ask because he's been there from day dot. But yeah, it's been a massive journey. I think for next year, we're gonna plan like some kind of greatest hits album or something. We're gonna put together
Mm,
some kind of package of something with all the choice cuts of Frankenbok stuff. It'd be good to put some kind of legacy thing together, a package of sorts. I wanted to do like a documentary where everyone comes back and talks about stuff. I thought that would be really interesting,
that would be
even if it was some,
amazing.
yeah, even if it was something as simple as just sitting around a round table and we're all talking and it's professionally filmed. It's just whether everybody wants to come back and do that. There are some members that aren't as on good terms as say others, and then
Yeah,
some just
Glynn.
don't care anymore. You know, like
Yep.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's such a cool idea. And even um just like something that's like biological biographical too, like something that even if you weren't able to get all of you guys sitting around, someone to like tell the story or narrate it or um go to different, like, venues that you guys used to play and stuff like that, and talk to people, talk to the fans, and it'd just be so cool. So yeah, I'd love to see something like that one day for Frankenbok. That brings me, it just like, it rings a bell in my mind. I don't know if you remember this, but it was something Azza did a while ago, even with some of the King Parrot guys, where it was called Metal Down Under. And there was a part 1, a part 2, and a part 3. And all of the guys, from everyone from Mortal Sin to, Matty Young and Slats to Azza, and even some of the old metal, like the really old school Australian metal bands. It was a really interesting documentary, and something like in that vein for Frankenbok would I'd totally even buy that, man.
Yeah, look, it would be interesting to do. Whether people care or not, I mean, it'd be something we'd probably just put up on YouTube if it was to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's finding someone that wants to do it, that can do it, and
Mm.
then trying to get all the members back. It was great the 25th anniversary show, like Dan McDougall and Azza organized that, and it was great getting pretty much nearly every member back. I think there was only 2 or 3 that weren't a part of it, and it's
Yeah.
obviously because of bad falling outs or whatnot.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
all
yeah.
the geography of it all. But that was a really great gig. That was like one of the best gigs I'd ever been to, and yeah, it was so unreal. Like the tote was packed. I think it was almost sold out. And I mean, it's a tote, but it was great. And when I say it's a tote, I just mean it's a smaller venue, but
Yeah.
it was packed. Everyone had a great time, and that's Dan McDougall, testament to his hard work. He put all that together, and now there's a video on YouTube. I mean, I sang like shit that night, but fuck,
Yes.
it was a good time at a ball. And yeah, and I hadn't been on a stage in like 10, 12 years, so it was interesting getting back into that. And yeah, a lot of fun playing with the original lineup. And yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I
no,
got it.
just thinking about that whole, like, yeah, just it'll be, yeah. I'm thinking I know how to do editing, I know how to do filming, but yeah, it'll be a project. But yeah, who knows? Maybe one day. But yeah, I just wanted to sort of like get into a few little bonus parts now, Hutch, and sort of just mention like just some questions basically about the album and stuff like that. For example, like favorite track on Arabia War Honkle. Like, not that any track should be your favorite, but any track for you that stands out or you prefer to play live.
Oh, they all have a little place in my heart. I probably like Geppetto Scarecrow the best, and
Yep.
That's one of my favorites. Just because it was just different. Owen wrote it, and it's just opened up this whole new area now where Owen's going to start. Owen's got a whole bunch of great songs too, like as is
Wow.
great songwriter too, but they're so different. And yeah, it just sort of it reminded me of Frankenbok crossed with my old band Bacterium and Firestar all put together. It's like
Oh, Bacterium.
kind of reminded me of like Sugar meets Primus or something. It's yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
which is what I really
Yeah.
like. I like that kind of heavy
that's
sort of alternative, strange stuff. Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
cool. All right. So, what is like in your like time with the band? What would be your most difficult Frankenbok album, either old or new, or this one?
Difficult, like as in what to record or
Yeah,
Yeah, anything difficult, like just in
um,
recording,
or
or
even like hard songs to play or to remember or to sing.
none of them are hard to remember because I think when you're the singer or the vocalist, whatever, it's pretty easy because all you have to do is remember your word.
Yeah.
Your whole life is just karaoke. You're just basically keeping in time with the band. But I think Greetings was the most challenging because it was the first album. They there was a bunch of different people that worked on it as well, and with some of the clean vocals, they really kind of grilled me to get a performance out of me that wasn't really me, I thought, but
Yep,
it sounded better apparently. But I listened to it, I'm just like, yeah, it's really
not you.
cold and concentrated and contrived. Even just doesn't sound like me. Whereas with this new album, I really feel like that's me, and
Yeah,
I found my voice, and yeah.
cool.
Yeah, awesome. All right. So one of my other random sort of questions is going to be, what do you think 1997 Frankenbok would think of you guys now if you could literally, like back then, look at yourself in the future?
Wow, I don't know. I think people would spin out to think that one, we got a drummer, two, that Tim wouldn't be in the band anymore, three, that the band would become so diverse and go on to do things like support Slayer and play Big Day Out and do all these cool things that we got to do. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's just it'd be interesting. Like I don't know. It's a hard thing because I don't really deal in hypotheticals, but
Yeah, okay, yeah.
I never thought I would have left the band. I never thought I would have come back.
Yeah,
And it was very interesting to see, like it's great. Like, and I'm sure Az is grateful for all the people that have come and gone and kept it going. And, and everyone's loved and appreciated and respected for their time in the band. And, at the end of the day, people make choices. They come and they go. And,
yeah,
that's people get on the bus and then they get off. And it's really interesting that it's come full circle because Azra and I started the band with the drum machine and then we sort of built it from there. So it's kind of cool and cathartic even that, it's me and him back together again as good friends and then we got Owen and Tommy that give a fuck, turning up each week and keeping the vision going, like I really hope this lineup stays the way it is. I really don't want anyone to leave.
yeah,
But you don't know what the future holds.
Yep.
yeah. No,
I
that's
really,
exactly
really
right.
Yeah, I really hope we get a few more years out of this as it is, and
Yeah,
I hope this record gets out to people, and we get to, it's not about making money or being famous or anything, although I wouldn't say no, but it's just about having these great experiences, like getting up and playing gigs like Thrashville, and supporting Alien Ant Farm and Drowning Pool, and just having these great experiences with the bands. It's great. It just makes my weekends a lot more interesting. It'd be
Yeah.
great to get to that level where a lot of people really care again. But whether that happens or not, at the end of the day, you create your music. It comes from yourself, but it's at the end of the day, it's whether it resonates with people, and you just don't know. Who knows what the next big thing's going to be or whatnot. So you just got to stay true to your own path and make the music you want to make. And if
yeah,
it resonates, it resonates. Like there's so many clones and carbon copies of the big thing. Like there's
yeah,
I won't name any bands, but yeah, there's so many bands that copy these other bands and whatnot. And I was even guilty of that too, man. When like Faith No More came out, I was a massive Mike Patton fan and
yeah. I'm
wanted
totally
to kind of be like him. It's versatile anyway, but I like a whole bunch of stuff and that I want to put into one super band that made music that encompassed all the bands I like.
yeah.
Cool.
No,
So
awesome.
I've got one. This is my last one. This could be a totally weird question, but is there a Frankenbok song from your time that surprised you in the recording? Like, has it surprised you in a good way? Like you thought, hang on, this song's better than what I liked when we recorded it, or this song's not that great. Like I don't know if that's a possibility, but
Yeah, or is there any that stood the test of time in your mind?
yeah.
I don't know. It's your own stuff. So I occasionally, once every 27th blue moon, I'll pull out a Frankenbok album that I did just to have a listen for nostalgia. It's a good social tool if you're connecting with somebody, especially a musician or whatever. Like if you're dating someone that's creative as well, and you're going to show each other what you've done. I don't know. Like I listened to it. It's like, yeah, cool. That was what it was for the time, but I don't really listen to it. I think I was really surprised by this new record. Like it came
Yeah,
out so great. Like I'm really happy with how it turned out. I mean, we went in, we did our best. We did it under a really rigid sort of time regime. I was freaking out because my voice fucking was really sore. I'm even sick now. Like it's just fucking Melbourne is like the flu capital. We're all playing fucking musical germs and
yeah.
whatnot. I was going into the studio, like my throat was really sore and I didn't know if I was going to be able to do it. And then because of everything that everybody else had done and how they went in and did their bits, I was like, oh shit, like I'm not gonna pull the plug and be the guy that lets the team down. So I think I've said in a few interviews now, I went to Chemist Warehouse and spent like $100 on all these gargles and lozenges and sprays and stuff for the teas and everything. And I just went in there and just did it. And it was kind of funny because I think my voice stood up, but also I got like some different stuff out of my voice that I don't normally do. And
Oh
Really
wow.
just experimented, yeah. Like we didn't over demo these songs. Like I knew what I was going to do, but I was more about the old school, like thinking about how it sounds up here, and then just being quick on my feet in the studio, getting stuff going along. Like, yeah, cool, that works, that doesn't work, and yeah, I had a bunch of backup plans. I had I think like 3 to 4 different ways to sing all the songs as well, just to for backup, because sometimes you go in there and an idea doesn't work or people don't like it. But as I said, with this band, everyone's very supportive and yeah. And at the end of the day, I gave Luke more to work with. I gave lots of vocal layering and lots of different stuff, and let him just sort of sift through it all and trim the fat. And we end up getting back to this point where it was like just sounding like a really polished live recording, which is, I think it sounds like Frankenbok live. It's I
Yeah,
think it has the
yeah.
punch and the hit and the groove, and yeah. So I'm really happy with how it turned out. Yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome.
awesome, man. So that's where I'm sort of going to get into just sort of wrapping things up now for the end of the show, Hutch, which is I just want to let everyone know Arabia War Honkle out right now. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's out on you guys' own label, is that right?
We're through a label called X Music, so it's
Oh,
on all the
yep.
streaming platforms. You can get it on Bandcamp. It's also on CD and 12-inch vinyl. You can
Oh,
play it at our
fantastic.
website, frankenbok.net. It's on YouTube. You can, however you want to get it. If there's a will, there's a way to find it. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I'll be getting myself a nice vinyl pressing soon. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, I just wanted to plug that for you guys. So that's through X Recordings. Everyone get a copy of Arabia War Honkle. And if you just want a quick listen now, also check it out on the streaming services. Also, like you said, Hutch, some shows coming up on the horizon, but you're sort of just giving people time to digest the album before you get back out there.
Yeah, I think the guys we kind of want to wait, give it 2 months for people to check it out. We from August we got some shows coming up. There'll be a whole bunch. So if you're interested, just head to frankenbok.net or check your local street press. Go to frankenbok.net, get on the mailing list if you're interested. And we don't overspam, but you'll keep in touch or follow us on our socials. Frankenbok666 on Instagram, and just type in Frankenbok on Facebook, and we're on YouTube as well. We've had a few different accounts, and a couple we were locked out of, so we've
Oh,
had to do some new
okay. All
stuff.
right.
So yeah, nobody knows the password, so
Well, that's right. And when you guys have been doing this as long as you have, and honestly, it's sort of a like a self endeavor. You guys are handling a lot of that social media stuff yourselves, aren't you?
yeah. I mean, if anyone's interested in the band or wants to reconnect with the band, just go to our website, frankbok.net. Everything is there. If you're after merch or recordings or downloads, it's all
Some
there.
lovely
It's just
merch. Check
yeah.
that out, guys.
We've,
Yeah. So
Yeah, it's we missed Dan. He did some great merch for the band, but we're sort of getting into the whole made to order stuff now, because it's just easier and
yep,
it's cheaper for us.
yep,
Try to make it as cheap for people as we can, but yeah, there's a whole bunch of new hoodies and merch that's up there. You can obviously get the vinyls and stuff. We've re-released a few things on better formats. So yeah, just we found this really great uh, a company in the UK called ElasticStage.com, and so they do made to order CDs and vinyl, so they've come up pretty good, and it just saves us the outlay and whatnot, because unfortunately, CDs and that, they're not as popular as they once were.
no, that's
People
right.
aren't really collecting the physical media anymore. It's mostly streams and Bandcamp for us, but for those that still want to collect stuff, that's the CD and the vinyl is still there.
Yeah, awesome. That's fantastic, Hutch. And I'm sure all of the fans appreciate that too, because like you said, for the people who want physical media, it is there for them too. So yeah. Well, at this point in the show, Hutch, I'd just the last thing I'd ask, is there anything else that you want out there? Anything coming up on it, like on the horizon, or is there anything else with Five-Star Prison Cell in the future, or yeah, is there anything
Well,
else you want out
with
there?
Five Star, if you're in Brisbane and you're going to Necrosonic, we'll be playing there, so you can catch us at that. So you can get tickets through the necrosonic.com website, I think it is. As far as Frankenbok, we've got a bunch of shows coming up, but we just haven't announced them yet. The new record's out. Please check it out. It's number 5 on the ARIA charts for Australian releases. We'd love to get it to number 1, so just keep streaming the fuck out of it. Pick
Yeah,
yourself up a CD or a record. We're really proud of the packaging and stuff. We're really proud of this record, and anyone that's kind of forgotten about us, check us out, because I think this is a great reintroduction into who we are now. And
Yep.
yeah, where it's an album we're really proud of, and we've got a lot of good feedback from it. So yeah, it would be great if it blows up and people check it out. It'd be a dream come true. So yeah.
Awesome. Awesome, Hutch. And like I said, me and Kyle have been enjoying it. For me, it's actually been my driving music. It's so, like even the first song, the cover, it's so good. And you sort of chuck it on and that sort of like eases you into it, but then you're driving.
Yep.
And, it's just a really good cruising album, like I said.
It's 30 minutes of, fun and brutality. We tried to make it colorful and interesting. It's a bit of a journey. All the songs are kind of false starts. So if you're one of these people with a short attention span, the songs, how they start is not how they end, and they zig and they zag. And so, it's old school. It's for people with attention spans, it's the journey of, from track 1 to track 7. And
yep.
Yeah.
I was listening to it today on the way to and from work, so I was like getting pumped for tonight.
Yeah, cool. So, well, thanks for checking it out, guys. Really appreciate it. Thanks for having me on too.
Awesome.
Fun.
Thanks heaps for coming on Heavy Energy. We did used to call it the Simmo and Kyle Aussie Metal and Rock Talk Show, but that was quite a mouthful. So we ended up condensing things to just Heavy Energy. So if you get a chance, Hutch, let anyone who like any other bands who want to get some of that exposure like through these podcasts and that, let them know. Send them to us. You even mentioned Segression at one point. I'll quickly say I might see if you could connect me with those guys so I could get a podcast going with them eventually.
I'm sure if you reach out to them, they'd do it. I don't actually know the guys myself.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Some of the guys in the band might know them, but yeah, I don't really know them.
No, I'm sure if I reached out to them, me and Cole are sort of starting to establish ourselves with our podcast now. Heavy Energy just actually interviewed Drowning Pool last week as well.
Oh wow, that's awesome!
Yeah, that's a big one for us. Keep an eye out for that one next week, Hutch, and then your interview will drop the week after. I'll edit that out. But anyway, keep an eye out for that. We actually talked to CJ, the guitarist from Drowning Pool. That was very interesting to ask him about bodies, and also to ask him, very carefully ask him about Dave Williams and the stuff with their singer who passed away, which is a very sad story because that happened like one album into his career. So
they were such lovely guys, both them and the Alien Ant guys, and I did a bit of merch on that tour. So CJ's wife, I forget her name, but she was really lovely. Got chatting to her, and yeah, it was great. It was a really cool tour. It's a shame we couldn't get to Perth with them. We just couldn't afford it. But no, it was fun, and it was a really great way to introduce the band. And people that checked us out were like, "Oh wow!" Some people that were coming up to us and they go, "Oh, we've never heard of you guys. Like, are you guys new?" And it's like, "Oh no, we've been around for 20-something years." Yeah, so it was great. Like, it's great that we're sort of Frankenbok's still around, and we're sort of getting exposed to some new crowds and whatnot.
Yeah, that's right, exactly, and playing with some of the younger bands, even the newer bands coming onto the scene.
Yeah, we'll play with anyone, man. I mean, we've played with the bands too, but we're interested in playing with interesting and diverse bands. Like we've been playing with sort of hard rock bands and some more experimental bands and stuff. So it's great to watch a whole lineup of metal, but it's good to have a bit of diversity as well. Everyone gets to shine with their genre, So
yeah, awesome. All right, well, we've got about a minute and 10 seconds counting down, Hutch. So me and Kyle are going to leave you there. We're going to sign off for Heavy Energy. This is Simmo Metal saying stay metal, and Kyle,
rock on.
That's right. Thank you very much for joining us on the Heavy Energy podcast, Hutch, and I'd love to have another chat with you again soon.
Thanks for having me, guys. All the best. We'll see you soon.
Stay Hutch.
Cheers, man. Stay metal. Thanks so much for your time, Hutch.
Pleasure.
Awesome. Cheers, dude.